Attention, ladies and gentlemen.
It's time to embrace a youthful mindset and envision your future. Take the lead is in your walls.
Take the lead is in your walls.
This platform serves as a space for engagement designed to equip young people to become effective leaders. They are actively contributing, creatively engaged, and determined in various fields. And now, this is Take the Lead.
Hello to you, West Africa and the world at large. We are here again. Welcome to Take the Lead, the 30th episode of your youth exchange program on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting all the way from Dakar, Senegal. My name is Augustine Curley, and today we will focus on the challenges of rejection and criticisms young people face in West Africa, as well as proposing measures to address this situation. So please follow us right now on 94.9 FM. We are also streaming live on YouTube at WADR News and on Facebook, WADR English Service. You can also get us worldwide at wadr.org and listen to us live and direct from anywhere at any time. As a reminder, we will be reading your comments on our live broadcast or our live feed. So please send in your reactions, interact with us via our live feed, and we will certainly read out your comments. In West Africa, young people often face rejection and criticism within their families, communities, and broader society, which can stem from various factors, including limited economic opportunities, cultural expectations, and societal perceptions. From families' traditional views to a prolonged period of financial dependence, climbing up to high unemployment rates, and traversing to stigmatization, these challenges can hinder their societal and economic advancement, contributing to a feeling of frustration and marginalization. This edition aims to explore the multifaceted challenges of rejection and criticism experienced by young people in West Africa, whether in toxic family dynamics, strained friendships, or within the communities or society at large, as well as considering the steps we can take to support and empower them moving forward.
Take the Lead is back in 2025 with a brand new format. Yes, your youth exchange space will now be broadcast live every Friday at 4:05 p.m. Universal Time. And that's not all. Dear internet users and WADR subscribers, you have the opportunity to experience the show live and direct on our online platforms on Facebook at WADR English Service and on YouTube at WADR. Take the Lead every Friday from 4:05 p.m. Universal Time and rebroadcast same day at 1 a.m. Universal Time. Also, every Tuesday, your youth program will be rebroadcast at 7:15 a.m. and 4:05 p.m. GMT. Take the lead and champion the discourse for the betterment of young people.
Remember the charge. It's often said that you should take the lead in championing the discourse for the betterment of young people, particularly, I would say, in West Africa. So joining us for today's discussion are brilliant young people. Of course, this show is dedicated to the young people. And they are Mariam Adara. Mariam is the founder and the CEO of Echo Deaf Agency and the president of COPS Africa Senegal Alumni Club. It's a pleasure to have you in our studio, Mariam. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Augustine, for the introduction and invitation as well. This is a great pleasure for me to share this podcast with you.
Great. Please tell us a bit about your organization. What is meant by the EcoDev agency that you funded?
Yeah, thank you. EcoDev Agency is my own communication agency focused on sustainable development. We work with NGOs, with humanitarian associations to turn data into action, to foster collaboration, and to show more the best practices in development area.
Great.
Yes.
That's wonderful. We also have Khadija C. Khadija is an English translator, and she says she's a former accountant. I want to believe that she's still an accountant, but let's hear more from her. Khadija, how are you doing? Welcome.
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here too.
Likewise.
Tell us a bit about your lifestyle. An English translator, and you consider yourself a former accountant. Give us a little story.
So my background is actually business administration, and I opted to major in accounting. That's the reason why I said I'm a former accountant, because I worked as an accountant before transitioning and opening myself to another area of my life. And I love English, even if like we are here in a French-speaking country, So I took advantage of the opportunities, and now I'm a full-time interpreter.
Great, wonderful. Well, we also have Ambassador Emmanuel Chill. Emmanuel is a young Liberian diplomat. He's the founder and regional chairman of West Africa Youth Assembly. Why? Let's hear from him. Emmanuel, how are you doing, and welcome to the platform.
Thank you, Mr. Atobio, calling for this opportunity, speaking with you from Monrovia, Liberia. Thank you.
Great. How is Monrovia today? And a bit about the organization you regional chairman for the West Africa Youth Assembly.
Monrovia is great because, as you may be aware, we are about to celebrate our 178th anniversary in Monrovia, Liberia. So everything in Monrovia is cool. The West Africa Youth Assembly is a regional youth institution recognized by the ECOWAS Parliament, funded on the basis of the ECOWAS Vision 2020, from ECOWAS of head of states to ECOWAS of the people. So basically was established to institutionalize youth participation within regional governance and policy-making processes, and also to provide a structural platform for youth dialogue, debate, and action on key regional issues. So predicated upon this, we have the West Africa Youth Assembly that is current in 30 countries within the West Africa region, with the exception of Burkina Faso and Mali. We'll cover the rest within the ECOWAS region. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now let's hit the ground running with our interesting questions that are to be, answered by our wonderful guests here today. Of course, beginning with Mariam, we would love you to just share with us your personal understanding. We are discussing rejection and criticism that young people face in West Africa. It's quite important to firstly understand what rejection is and what criticism is. Would you mind sharing with us your own understanding about the two, rejection and criticism?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that good question and this topic as well, because that phenomenon is today very, very important in our society, and most of our youngers, they are facing criticism and rejection. So according to my own understanding about the topic is rejection or criticism is all about the act we pose, the reaction we do, or the word we pronounce, that may hurt our interlocutor and push him or her to withdrawing into oneself or to isolate himself. And we may even push them to, take a drastic decision in their own life. We can maybe see, when people are frustrated, they may, talk their own selves or to isolate themselves, So I think it's all about actions, reactions or word we pronounce or act we pose, in order to maybe unintentionally hurt someone and push them to withdrawing and on oneself.
Great. Now, Khadija, you may want to, add on to what she said, or also have other aspects of your own understanding about the topic. But would you consider this to be a common, phenomenon that human being experience, despite young people discussing it? Is it a common thing that human being experiences, and then why do you think is prevalent or is common in our setting?
All right, so in my understanding, and I share your view, madam, so rejection is like the feeling of isolation and abandonment that we feel for like the remaining of our lives. Like when it starts, it never goes away. Is something that is so prevalent in our societies because we are so judgmental. The judgment we put on like the youth. We always say, your generation, you don't have this, you don't have that. We didn't behave like you do. You guys are always, into some deprivation and stuff. And once it is like in the people's mind, it like takes a big toll. And it is something that we always have to fight. Like no matter how big or small we feel. And it makes us feel smaller and smaller. It makes us isolate, just like you said. It makes us withdraw. It makes us feel completely abandoned by our own, like the society, the neighbors, the cousins. Those people we think we could relate to, we don't have now. That's the thing that happens when somebody feels rejected or criticized too much. Like the criticism is not really rewarding. We don't criticize to uplift someone. We criticize to put them down, to make them feel like they are, running in a direction or they are missing onto something. And we don't even know what is the thing that we miss. We just live our lives. Like the generation that comes will never be the same as the previous one. And it is something good, I think. Like every generation has good and bad. That's not, to say that, okay, we have to stigmatize. That's what we do now.
Great. An important aspect that I took from you, you said mostly criticisms are done to bring people down. It brings me into a point of understanding forms of criticism. And now we come to you, Emmanuel. Sometimes people say I criticize things or people constructively and not destructively. But what's your point of view about the various forms of criticism that young people face, maybe in Liberia or other countries you may have heard or visited and observed, these forms of criticisms? Emmanuel.
Yeah, so one thing I want us to also look at is that from my own understanding on rejection and criticism is that rejection is the feeling or act of being denied or acceptance, whether in relationship or contributions. And then criticism, on the other hand, is feedback, which can be constructive or destructive about one actions, ideas, or behavior. Both are inevitable in leadership, growth, and youth development. So the issue of rejection, it happens so many times when it comes to young people seeking opportunities, as I said, relationship opportunities or contributions. So when young people are denied of certain golden opportunities, most especially when young people are advocating for inclusions into leadership, and then these young people voices are being rejected by leaders, that alone creates trauma in the mind because you have denied the young people or those young people rights that they own, rights that belongs to them, where they sort of take critical decisions that will affect their lives on a daily basis, and then they are being denied. That alone causes frustration. So I see it to be the first thing I will look at when it comes to the council criticism, that is rejection of young people into opportunities. The next issue is contributions. Young people want to make contributions at regional level, at national level, at local level. But these contributions can only be made whenever our leader acceptance. So whenever rejections take place to the higher level down to the local level, young people feel abandoned again. And again, like I said, criticism is for feedback. When people are being criticized constructively, it leaves with our leaders to respond in a very positive manner, like what we were doing at the level of the ECOWAS region. We criticize the ECOWAS Parliament constructively, or calling them to that attention when it comes to the ECOWAS vision for the country by allowing young people to be part of decision making, because right now ECOWAS is an ECOWAS of the community, because of ECOWAS of people, not only ECOWAS of the government. So it's being inclusive. So when young people are constructive in criticizing, that our regional leaders give these young people a positive feedback. As I said, it can be constructive, it can be destructive. So in the destructive manners, I think based on ideas and behavior, we as young people, we can seek advice from our leaders to see how to move in a positive direction. Thank you.
Okay, coming back to you, Mariam, there are factors to also consider. The family, friendly level, maybe the community, as well as the societal resource of these criticisms and rejection. Where do you think these come from most? Is it from the family, that maybe the family values, you have refused to follow the family values, and then because of that the family is rejecting you? Is it the pressure that you feel from your friends, that maybe the way you dress is not what they expect you to be, that kind of dress code is not what they expect you to take on? Is it the community that you find yourself in? How would you consider the impacts of all of these factors into young people being rejected or criticized?
Yeah, so I think it may come in all there's different stakeholders in your life. It may be from your friends, your family, or the community in general. And in our education, our African values, we are educated to just accept. We just receive. We don't have that facility to be resilient about what we receive. And I think we are not so active in listening, when we are, so easy to make a comment, to talk about the life of Mariam without knowing the struggle, the everyday struggle of Mariam, what she's, struggling every day. But I think, the family and the friends are designed to be a safe space. Okay. And if you don't, find that safe space on them, and they always, critique what you are doing, it may, push you to, to not be open. You're not open to share your ideas. You're not open to share your thoughts, because you think every day when you share your ideas, these are not relevant because they don't maybe take it into account, and you have just to withdrawing into oneself. And I think the family, the friends, the community should be more active in listening, should be more understandable about the feelings of the others. They don't be able to really listen carefully what do you feel inside of you, and this don't help you to be open to share what you think. And I maybe took the example of in February 2025, we all faced that, very hurtful event. The student in University of Gaston Berger in Saint Louis, who took, it is a man, who took his own life. Due to criticism, due to racism, he felt, marginalized. And I think what he it was all about a lack of someone who really listened to him and to understand what he's living inside of him. And I think, we are just going to really, as the world is fastly evolving, we just have to modernize our education to adapt it into how young people today are living, because we now have our same way of living, our same way of feeling things. I think just we have to redefine our education to even at school. Because I remember that this is my own experience. When I was at secondary school, I had a teacher on history and geography. Always she laughed on me because the way I was writing. She told me, when you will be a personality in the country, your colleagues will be laughed on you, because when you write, you are so close to your copybook. And that made all my classmates laughing a lot. And that frustrated me a lot, until one day one of my classmates took the floor and talked to the teacher saying, yeah, that's enough. You see how this hurts her and you continue to do it. And, she didn't take the time to understand why I'm writing like that or why I'm writing like this. And I think if I were not maybe resilient enough, strong enough, that will may brings me down. And I think we just have to be more empathetic, with others, to listen more and to be, more kind.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. We will come to the impact of, the level of criticisms and rejection has on young people. But let's hear from you, Khadija. I didn't mention about the social media influence regarding rejection and criticisms. How would you consider the impact of social media when it comes to young people being bullied, maybe by their posts, or maybe their photos or comments, and how do you think these things contribute to young people being rejected in society and being criticized?
That's a very interesting question, and I'm eager to answer. So I will take my generation, I'm a millennial and the Gen Z, for example. We didn't grow up having social media. So all our mistakes, all our, crazy things that we were doing, we didn't have anything to record it. And once it started, when once social media took over, everything was recorded, every photo, every video. And once you put something on the internet, it doesn't go away. You can delete it, but someone has it, and they can still put it back there. So that's the first thing that I noticed. Now everything is online. Whatever they do, wherever they are, they post it. And one danger is, because we've been warned before all the social media came. We've been warned. Some people came to our schools and talked about the fact that once you put something online, it doesn't go away. So maybe 10 years later, 20 years later, you would want to show your change, show that you are somebody new. You're not the person you were. But people will still take that period of your time that you put online to judge you.
Great.
So it takes a toll on people. People don't like just Twitter. Twitter is a very toxic social media, because once you put something, you write something, it is there with you forever. Some people will still bring it up on you. Once for example, maybe you had that Y type of mindset. You didn't want to, reveal your body. You were very religious. And sometime along the way, you decided to change your lifestyle. And now people will bring it up, say, oh my God, why did you change? People are constantly changing. It is the very one thing that is every time in our lives, we are changing. But with social media, they don't allow us to change. The person we were years ago, we still have to be that. We don't have the right to change. We don't have the right to change our opinions. For example, maybe you were wrong. You said something, or you endorsed someone, and now your views change, and then the thing is, people will always bring it up to you. Like, you don't have the right, to correct yourself. Okay. That's the first thing that I will put here.
Great. Crossing over to you, Emmanuel, like Miriam and Khadija spoke about young people facing criticisms and rejection, how they concealed themselves, they try to hide themselves, they don't want to expose themselves, maybe for fear of what they know. But let me ask you, how does such fear of criticism or rejection affect a young person's willingness to take risk or to try new things that will further expose the potentials that they have?
Please come out with your question. You are coming in breaking.
So I'm asking, how does a fear of criticism or rejection affect a young person's willingness to take risk or to try new things that will explore their potentials?
All right. So thank you. So you say, how does criticism impact, again, the network is coming.
How the fear of criticism affects a young person's willingness to take risk or to try new things that will bring out the potentials that they have?
All right. So thank you. So I just get you on the issue of the fear of criticism, and I agree with the lady when she talked about the bullying as well on the social media. So in many African homes, we young people, we came out in a narrow way, in a narrow path, and our academic success, being so obedient and early responsibility, when we based on our understanding, because we made up with this different kind of understanding and how it got us to escape the path of failure. I mean, this also because of the kind of way we came up. Like it create fear, it create guilt, and also deepen emotional wounds, because based on the kind of upbringing we have in our different homes. As I said, we came out in a very narrow path. So if you engage in a process where you are hoping to become successful, and then you perceive the spirit of rejection, because based on fear, the way you came out. Like, for example, in our home, people think that you don't talk to other people any kind of way. You for example, you don't speak your mind. You don't say issues that demand your present acceptance. And these things alone bring fear in us. It brings guilt, and it deepens our emotional wounds. So the upbringings of African children have been so narrowed, and I think we have to change from that culture to see how to adopt a more realistic one that will make everybody's voices to be heard and to be seen and being rejected in all places.
Great. Well, so far we have listened to interesting interactions with our guests on this 30th edition of Take the Lead in the year 2025. Let's now take some minutes and listen to WADR's Christopher Aticho for more insights about West African youth facing rejection and criticisms.
Rejection and criticism are universal human experiences. Yet, for many young people in West Africa, they strike deeper, cut sharper, and linger longer. Shaped by a web of cultural expectations, economic uncertainty, and social norms, these challenges don't just hurt. They redefine identities, silence dreams, and distort self-worth. In most West African societies, family and community are not just support systems. They are the compass that defines one's direction in life. From a young age, many youth are handed a blueprint for success: to become a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. If you deviate from this direction, perhaps to become a dancer, a designer, a digital creator, you may be met with suspicion, disapproval, or outright rejection. For some, the rejection goes even deeper. Expressing non-traditional identities such as being LGBTQI+, questioning religion, or embracing progressive values can result in isolation or being disowned altogether. At the same time, the economic reality is no less harsh, with youth unemployment in Nigeria exceeding 40% according to the World Bank 2023 report. Many young people are left idle despite their qualifications and ambition. Yet, society rarely sees the broken system. Instead, young people are called lazy, unserious, or entitled. This kind of criticism is more than unfair. It's damaging. It creates a culture where youth internalize blame for problems they didn't create, weakening their drive and mental health. Meanwhile, friendships are meant to offer support. But in a world where appearance can outweigh authenticity, peer groups have become another arena of judgment. In cities like Lagos, Accra, and Abidjan, youths are judged by what they wear, the phones they carry, and how cool their social media looks. Those who fall behind this material race are either mocked, excluded, or branded broke or local. In desperation to fit in, some resort to internet fraud like Yahoo or exploitative relationships, trading integrity for validation. Most importantly, social media has become both a stage and a battlefield. While it gives young West Africans a voice, it also opens the door to online bullying, trolling, and cancel culture. For youth trying to build personal brands or run businesses, digital criticism can feel relentless, eroding confidence and identity in real time. It is important to note that rejection and criticism among West African youth aren't just personal hardship, they are symptoms of deeper societal dysfunctions. But there is hope for youth in the sub-region if we advocate for educational systems that nurture creativity and conformity, mental health services that are accessible, affordable, and destigmatized, youth empowerment programs that focus on innovation and resilience, cultural conservations that replace judgment with understanding. Let us remember, every young person deserves the freedom to explore, to fail, to grow, and to be heard, not judged or rejected for who they are or who they aspire to become.
Thanks to WADR's Christopher Aticho for those insights.
Hey people, my name is Mello, Afrobeat singer from Guinea and Conakry. I love listening to the program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.
Hello, my name is Fatou Bintou Souké. I'm the CEO of African Start Shop and I love listening to your program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.
Welcome back to Take the Lead, your premiered youthful platform here in West Africa. This is where we set the agenda for topical discussions all about young people in the West African sub-region and beyond. We are streaming live on YouTube at WADR English. That's news, and Facebook WADR English service. Please, we would like you to send in your reactions. What do you make of these wonderful interactions by our guest, and what do you have in mind about these young people facing rejection in the communities, in the schools, at workplaces, and wherever they find themselves? Let's now recognize our partner radio stations that often rebroadcast this program across the sub-region. Beginning with Nigeria, we have Darlin FM, we have Nensit FM in Kaduna State, we have Love FM in Abuja. Crossing over to Liberia, we have Alternative Youth Radio in Lofa County, we have DCN Radio in Rivers County, we have Kwatika Radio in Banga, Bong County. In Sierra Leone, we have the African Young Voices there in Freetown. We have Radio Gbaf in Mal. We have Hands of Hope in Freetown. As well as Eastern Radio in Kono District. That's for Sierra Leone. Crossing over to Ghana, We have Radio Pav in the Savannah region. We have Royals FM. Now in the Gambia, we have Numi FM as well as Radio Veritas. Once you are in those countries, you can be assured that you will listen to a rebroadcast of this program. So welcome back to this edition of the program. Just as we see your comments coming through, we will read them. We promise to acknowledge the fact that you are also following us and your opinion. We see some of you also following. Avin Pennon is following. Amos Kuman, Sukna Jara Bosu Gay is following. You can also share with us your opinions and we will highlight them on the show right now. Let's focus on an important aspect of this topic, and it comes down to young people who are in the streets, who are in the ghettos, who are on the dump sites, who are at the cemeteries. They are referred to, in Liberia, they are referred to as Zogos. And across the sub-region, they are referred to as zombies because they are involved with drug addiction. They are taking in harmful substances. They are young people with potential. But these people are mostly being rejected by their fellow young people in the communities. They don't want to see them. Least to talk about the older folks. They are criticizing these people. Now, to our guests, let's begin this segment with Emmanuel. Liberia is one of the countries that has, a very huge number of Zogos, they will say, or disadvantaged youths, mostly in the dump sites, and they are all around the streets of Monrovia. Tell us, how do you think these people are feeling when they are being rejected by their fellow young people? They are being rejected by the community. What can you say about the impact this rejection and criticism is having on their lives?
And before I say that, let me say no, especially no to
You are coming in broken,
just
Emmanuel.
You can speak. No. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Getting me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So as I was saying, let's say no to just because just is something that is very causing many young people to be rejected in that different communities, and chairman on the man is helped to bring them down because what they are into, some led to peer pressure and some led to poor upbringing, put in a difficult.
Well, Emmanuel, I think you have to change your position. Then we can get you back. Yes. You just shift a bit. Just shift a bit. Let's hear from Mariam. What do you make of these young people in the ghettos, at the dump sites, at the cemeteries? What do you make of the impact of rejection and criticism that they are facing right now?
Yeah, thank you for that good question, Augustine. So I think most of the time we forget that they are part of our community. And we have and no one should be left behind. And maybe what I think is that they live it. They live that reduction. They live that criticism. Even they don't have, that opportunity to change their situation. I think our policies, our national policies should take action about them because even it's due to the vulnerable conditions that they are in the street. They take some substance of drugs and push them today to don't have any possibility. So I think it depends, or it happens to our authorities to really take action, to take policies, to fight that situation. Because I think no one, can be happy, about that situation, even those who are living the situation. And we as population, as citizens, we have to be more empathetic about them. When we meet them in the street, try to find a time to discuss with them, to really understand what, brings that situation. Okay. And, to just take small action that can have a great impact on their life.
Okay, let's also hear from you, Khadija. Mm-hmm. What do you have to say regarding these young people?
Right. Just like Madam said, there's like an organized situation when it comes to those people that live in the suburbs, and it's that the availability of the drug is the very big issue, because it's not like you have to go like far to get that. It's like maybe your neighbor is the big dealer, and alcohol as well. Alcohol is way too available for people. They go to buy it, and like there's nothing you can do about it. If you see someone really like drunk and under the substance, there's nothing you can do. Maybe like if they didn't take it, then you can have that conversation. When you find them sober, when you find them in their natural state, you can then go and talk about it. Like, what is your problem? What takes you? Like, what is your anger? Where does it come from? And then maybe that person can open themselves. But it's really difficult to deal with that situation. And the states of our countries don't really focus on that, because they say if they do it, it's because they want it. They don't look at the root cause of that phenomenon. Okay. Some people really want to go to rehab, but they don't have nobody. They don't have somebody to take them, somebody to take their hands, and be the support that they want. Sometimes it's just that. Sometimes they just do it to evade, because the load, some people lost everything, like their job, they lost their wives, or even if for the girls, they lost their husbands. There is something that has to happen in your life for you to go that far in that intoxication. Yeah.
Great. At this moment, let's proffer solutions. What are your recommendations to the community, to local officials, to state authorities regarding these issues? Now, let's hear it again from you. This time, your recommendations quickly, Emmanuel Che, as we draw down the curtains on this edition.
Are you getting me now?
Yes, please.
Yes. Thank you. So,
well, I think.
Yes, no, because
I think this.
Are you getting?
Yes, please. What?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I think the network is bad. So it's very unfortunate. We will have to listen to Mariam and of course Khadija as we wrap up. Your recommendations to the situations that we've discussed throughout here.
Yeah, my recommendation will go to first our parents to be more open, to develop a very active listening, to be very accessible. That will help the youngers to be more open, to tell what they are living, what they are facing in their everyday life, and to be more understood with their parents, their family, because they are designed to be their safe place. And I think, we have to be more human. To the government, to the public deciders, I want to tell them to be more close to what the youngers are living, especially those who are living in the suburb, and to try to understand what they are living, trying to take some policies that can help them to find a way. And to the youngers, I want to tell you that criticism, rejection, we will live it every day. When we live, we are going to face them. So we have just to be more resilient, to be more strong, to try to turn every, criticism or critics into positive one, and I think, when we separate each and everyone, when we support together, we are going to live in a more inclusive, more sustainable, and more human world.
Thank you so kindly, Miriam. Let's hear from you, Khadija.
Okay, my takeaway is I want people to think before they take any action. Don't go and be under the influence because you face one or two criticism that day. And if you cannot stay away from it, try to go to rehab, because there's always tons of solutions that can be here. But the thing is, some people don't want to go to rehab because they think they can do it on their own. No, they need support. They need help from professionals that know how deep it can be, ingrained in yourself. So yes, be open to face like the situation with your parents, with your loved ones.
All right, thank you. We hope to have you here another time, Miriam. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
Same to you, Khadija. We hope to have you here another time.
Likewise.
Great. Well, listeners and viewers, this is where we conclude the 30th episode of Take the Lead here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting all the way from Dakar, Senegal. It has been a pleasure having you with us. Please join us next Friday for another live edition of the program. Remember to take the lead in shaping the discourse for the betterment of young people in Africa. My name is Augustine Cully, wishing you all the best.